Welcome to our revision lecture on IAS 40. Let's first have a look at what is investment property in terms of IAS 40. This is property, land or buildings or both, held by the owner or by the lessee under a finance lease to earn rentals or for capital appreciation or both. Now, when you think about this, if you purchase a block of flats, for example, what is the purpose of this? You are going to rent this out to earn rental income and on the long term to increase the value to earn capital appreciation. Now, the definition indicates to us that this is a property to earn rental income or for capital appreciation rather than for the use in production or supply of goods or services or for admin purposes. Now, this will be your PPE properties in terms of IAS 16, or in the sale of ordinary course of business, which will be inventory. If the ordinary course of business of the entity is to purchase property and to sell the property immediately, this will be inventory within that entity. But it is extremely important that you read the information and ensure that you understand the information. Now, when can we recognize investment property in the entity's records? The standard indicates to us that first we need to comply with the definition of investment property, which is land and buildings held by the owner to earn rental or for capital appreciation. And then the recognition criteria should be met. It should be probable that future economic benefits will flow to the entity and the cost should be reliably measured. Now, if we can distinguish that we comply with both the definition and recognition criteria, we may recognize investment property in the entity's records. How do we measure investment property initially? We will have to measure this at cost, including transaction costs, directly attributable expenditures, such as legal services, property transfer taxes, other transaction costs, excluding startup costs, initial operating losses, wasted materials, or unproductive labor cost. And as always, if there is deferred payments, you need to calculate the present value. And this is the value that you will recognize as the cost of our investment property. Subsequent measurement. IAS 40 indicates to us that the entity can choose to either account for the investment property in terms of the cost model or in terms of the fair value model. If in terms of the cost model, the same principles will apply as per IAS 16, then you need to know that you will have to disclose your investment property in the PPE note as per our rules of IAS 16. Now, if the entity chooses the fair value model, all of the investment properties should be measured at fair value. Now, any change in the fair value shall be recognized in profit and loss. Guys, this is extremely important, but I'm pretty sure based on your third year level that you can remember this. For example, if there is an increase in our investment property's fair value of 100,000, our investment property increase, therefore debit the investment property in the statement of financial position with 100,000 and credit our fair value adjustment in our profit and loss with 100,000. Now they indicate to us that previously measured at fair value, then you need to continue to measure the property at fair value until disposal date. Now, extremely important, when the investment property is carried at fair value, you do not calculate depreciation on investment property carried at fair value. Now guys, I know that you are going to laugh, but there is still students that do this. If investment property is carried at fair value, do not depreciate the investment property. Extremely important. Then, investment property can be derecognized when either on disposal or when the asset is withdrawn, as there will no longer be any future economic benefits. Now, if you dispose of the asset, you will have to debit, hopefully, the bank with the income, credit your investment property if carried at fair value, and debit or credit a possible gain or loss on disposal. Then there is transfers. Now guys, transfers will be tested on an awareness level only. But let's work through this and ensure that you understand the different transfers that you should be able to identify. Now, the first set will be if there is a transfer from investment property at fair value to PPE or inventory. The deemed cost for subsequent accounting in terms of IAS 16 or IAS 2 will be the fair value at the date of change in use. Now, what does this mean? You will have to take out the asset from investment property and transfer this to either PPE or inventory. Therefore, your journal entries will be to debit your PPE or inventory at fair value on the date of transfer and to credit your investment property. Take out the asset. Now, the second type can be owner occupied, being PPE, to investment property at fair value. Now, this is an important one. I've included a timeline. Let's say, for example, on this date, 30 June 2017, there is a transfer from PPE to investment property. Our year end is 31 December 2017. Therefore, the beginning of the year will be 1 January 2017. Now, the standard indicates to us up until the date of transfer. Therefore, this period, you need to recognize the asset as PPE. Then on the date of transfer, which will be 30 June 2017, the difference between the carrying amount in terms of IAS 16 and the fair value of the property shall be recognized as a revaluation surplus in terms of IAS 16. It is important to note up to date of transfer that you will have to depreciate your asset in terms of IAS 16, and impairment losses can be recognized in this period as well in terms of IAS 36. The third type of transfer can be from inventories, IAS 2, to investment property carried at fair value. Therefore, your journal entry will be to take out the inventory. You will have to credit your inventories and debit your investment property. Now, the difference between the fair value of the investment property at date of change and the previous carrying amount of your inventory shall be recognized in your profit and loss. Now, let's say, for example, the fair value of our investment property was 10,000 on date of change, and the carrying amount of our inventory was 8,000. 8,000 on date of change. Our journal entry will be to debit our investment property at fair value, which is the 10,000, to credit our inventory with a 8,000. The remaining 2,000 shall be recognized as a gain in our profit and loss. The fourth type, the entity completes construction or development of a self-constructed investment property carried at fair value. Now, the difference between the fair value of the property at date of change and the previous carrying amount shall be recognized in our profit and loss. Deferred tax, extremely important. This will be based on the manner of recovery. Now, in terms of IAS 40, IAS 40 indicates to us that if investment property is carried at fair value, we will deem that fair value adjustment to be recovered through sale. Therefore, this will be taxed based on our CGT rate. If the carrying amount of the asset will not be recovered through sale, we need to identify how will that carrying amount be recovered. If it is through use, then you need to know based on your normal 28% tax rate. And then important, please make time and work through the disclosure requirements of investment properties. Let's look at the disclosure of investment properties carried at fair value model. Now guys, it is important that you understand the difference between the disclosure of our investment properties at fair value model compared to PPE. Now, when you look at this note, you will identify that land and buildings will be one column. Therefore, you will have to add the land plus the buildings details and include this in year 1. The same with year 2. This is land plus buildings. Why? This is a requirement in terms of IAS 40 compared to IAS 16. In IAS 16, we will disclose land in its separate column and building in its separate column. Now this is IAS 16. For IAS 40, if investment property is carried at fair value, you need to add land and building. You will have your opening balance at the beginning of the year. Identify if there's any additions during the year. Remember, if there is subsequent expenditure, this expenditure should comply with the definition of our investment property plus our recognition criteria. Then extremely important, if there's any transfers that you need to include or exclude. If there is any movements in our fair value, therefore our fair value adjustment, and then the closing balance at the end of the year at fair value. Now guys, the investment property note is pretty easy. You just need to study this and ensure that you understand the difference between our IAS 40 disclosure compared to our IAS 16 disclosure.